Hello everyone and welcome to another review. Today I have a review for you of a quite popular fragrance, a fragrance that actually rivals, I would probably say Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Male, as well as Acqua di Gio's by Giorgio Armani, and that is none other than Paco Rabanne's 1 million. Here's the bottle right here. This is actually the 50 milliliter. The 100 milliliter is also available. Those are the two primary sizes for it. The 50 milliliter is going to run you about $56 US. The 100 milliliter, about $77 US. That's not including shipping or tax. Now, one thing to be aware of this fragrance, because it's so popular, it's highly copied, it's highly plagiarized, it's knocked off to high heaven. So where you buy it from, I would probably be more cautious from, just because you may be getting a fake article for it. Now, this it's kind of designed to look like a gold bar. It looks like 1 million. The back, it just kind of has this black. You can see how much liquid is in the left if you look to the side. And the serial number you're going to find at the back of the bottom. I think you can see it a little bit there, but right there is where you're going to find the serial number for this one. So, again, I mentioned this fragrance was released in 2008. The parfumés of this, and I'm going to butcher these three names, so I apologize in advance, are Krystal Reynard, Olivier Pershaw, and Michael Girard. Now, again, I probably butchered all three of those names, but all three of those are credited for creating this fragrance. Now, with that, let's just get on to the notes for it. The notes for this are grapefruit and blood orange for your top notes. For your mid notes, you have rose, cinnamon, spice notes, and blonde leather. And for your base notes, you have white musk, amber, and patchouli. So, immediately when you spray this, despite all those notes that are actually listed, I get something completely different. I get a little bit of spices, but what I get is a very smooth, very sharp, very spicy, linear, almost bubblegum type smell. Bubblegum is the primary thing that I kind of get when it smells me. It's, if some of you are familiar, it sort of reminded me of Big Red almost. It sort of reminded me of some other really almost kiddie bubblegums that I used to chew when I was little. And that's kind of the impression that I got off immediately when I sprayed this fragrance, and it remains throughout the entire fragrance. As again, it's pretty linear, so it remains that way pretty much the whole way through. Very sweet, very fruity, very spicy on that, and very strong, very strong. So that is pretty much what I get from it. I don't get the two top notes that they list off. Grapefruit, I can't really pick out grapefruit. I can't really pick out blood orange off of it. I just really get a very candied, fruity, synthetic type of a fruit smell. That's what I get from this fragrance. Now, recommended sprays for this fragrance. I would recommend anywhere between 1 and 3 sprays. You can get away easily for this fragrance with 1 spray. It's a very powerful fragrance. 3 sprays is probably on the little bit more extreme side. The reason I didn't want to spray this earlier just to show you how it sprays was simply because it's that powerful, and I don't want it all over here for now. So the occasion that I would probably classify this as, I would consider this either a date fragrance or a clubbing, a nightclub or a night out fragrance. It pretty much is those two. I would not recommend it for casual wear or work wear or any other situation like that. This is pretty much your go-to club scent or your go-to date scent, night out scent. Definitely for those scenarios. For season, you can pull this one off year-round, believe it or not. Even though it's extremely strong and one might tend to gravitate towards fall and winter, you still can pull this one off in the summer. Just be easy on the trigger and wear it at night. That's really it. If you wear it during the day and it's hot out, then it might be a little bit too much, no matter even if you're pulling 1 spray on. So just keep that in mind. For the age group, this one I would probably give anywhere from the age of 30 downward. So if you're in high school, if you're in college, feel free to wear this. Even if you're a young adult, feel free to wear this. I think there hits almost like an age, basically, where it becomes just a little bit too, I almost want to say kiddie for that matter. So just keep that in mind. I'm sure some people can still pull it off. Some people thought it was suave, but I would not recommend it for anyone over 30. As far as projection and sillage go, both are very strong. Projection and sillage are both strong. And longevity also does excellent in the longevity route. I get anywhere between 8 and 12 hours plus. So 8 hours is what I got, I believe, after I just sprayed it just once, or one spray basically. Once you exceed that, you're going to start to push it up for longevity. So just keep that in mind. With that, let's see what other people thought of it.
It's like a little spicy. And again, I like it. I do. It's different. I've actually never smelled anything really like this. And maybe that's just because I don't smell a lot of men's colognes. But it's nice. It's like, it's almost like, it's like woodsy, spicy, but not like, it's masculine. It's not rugged masculine, but it's like sort of like suave masculine. You know, like suave maybe. You know, it's a little bit fruity. It reminds me a little bit of, wow, this is so weird. It reminds me of, do you remember the gum? I can't remember the name of the gum. It's like fruit stripe.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Fruit stripe gum with like it had like the different color sticks. That's what it reminds me of. I think that's so weird, but yeah, it's kind of like sweet, and I think it would smell good on a man. Like it's not very feminine. So on a scale of A to F or whatever, I think I'd also give it an A. It's different. Yeah.
Alright, this is Paco Rabanne's 1 million. The first thing I'll say is if you don't like candy or the smell of candy, then you won't like this scent. It is very sweet and very powerful at the same time. I had this one, and you got to be careful how you spray it. Couple too many sprays and people might run away from you. It's pretty strong. I know it does last. It does project. Sometimes too much. So you have to also be careful what you wear, and it does interact with other things because it's so sweet. It's kind of poignant, so it interacts with any of the lotions or any other things you have on. So I'll probably watch out for that. As far as the fragrance, I like the complexity and how they built it, so I probably would give it an A-. It's a real good scent. Probably not my personal favorite, but you know, some girls dig it, some girls run away from it. I couldn't tell you which type like which, but it's a decent scent, and you know, Paco Rabanne is well known in the fragrance world, so I wouldn't consider it cheap by any means. It's actually pretty expensive as well. It's not a niche fragrance, but it's you know, one of the regulars is pretty expensive for one.
This one I really dislike a lot. It's too strong, and it's just not very good. It smells like toothpaste. I would give it an F.
As you can see, the opinions for this one were varied almost. So the first two opinions, there was an A-, an A, and then an F for the fragrance. Candy, sweet, powerful, lasting, projection, spicy, woodsy, suave, fruity, gum, and toothpaste, basically. Krystal, who didn't like it, thought it smelled like toothpaste. And to be perfectly honest, there were other people, there were about 20 different people that I had smell this scent, and some of them did not like this scent as well. I'd probably say about 8 of them did not like the scent, but the ones that did like it loved the scent. So it got extreme reactions from it. Either you loved it or you hated it, basically. Now, what they thought of it, one thing I thought that was very interesting was that it wasn't just reviewers or anything like that picked up on a bubblegum type vibe. As you can see from Lisa's comment, she thought that it took her a while to place it, but then she realized that to her it smelled like a gum from her past. And that's kind of the same thing that I got. And this is not prompted. It's not me telling people that, hey, people think this thing smells like gum or anything like that. This is just people smelling it right off and giving their opinion of what they think of it. Gum was something that did come up quite frequently. So there may be some people who says, oh, it doesn't smell like gum. Well, there are a lot of people who think that it smells like gum. So with that, let's go ahead and get into the ratings for this. For scent, I'm going to go ahead and give this one a B. I am not the biggest fan of this scent, but it is a very nice smelling scent. A little bit too sweet for my liking, but some of the things that people might have said were it's a little bit too synthetic for them. I didn't really find that. I didn't really get it. I got a little bit of synthetic, don't get me wrong, but you know, it's nothing that really jumped out at me that says, oh, I can't wear this or anything like that. It still is a very good scent. I wouldn't place it in my best scents, but it's a good scent. As far as projection goes, I'm going to get ahead and give this an A+. Projection, it really can't be beat. Again, even with one spray and you're good on this one. Projection wise, it'll go out and grab people basically and let them know that it's there. Projection does an excellent job for it. Sillage, I give this one an A+ as well. It leaves a scent trail. It leaves its marking basically. People are going to smell you even after you've been around an area probably maybe a good 3 minutes. So it's very powerful in that, and that's why it's ever so important for you to keep in mind how much you actually spray on this one. For uniqueness, I'm going to go ahead and give this one a B as well. I've never really smelled a bubblegum type note from other fragrances. I know there are some out there, and maybe I'm forgetting that I smell them but it is pretty unique for it, and that's one of the reasons why I think it's taken off in popularity for in terms of scents. Now, when I say unique, I don't mean that it's unique in the sense that no one else has it, because a lot of people have this scent at this point. I mean it in more comparing to other scents. As far as longevity goes, I'm going to give this one an A as well. Longevity, you can really crank up how long this lasts depending on how many sprays you put on it again. But even with one spray, 8+ hours. So longevity, I'm going to give this one a solid A. For versatility, I think it suffers here. I give this a D+. I don't go clubbing much. Even if I went clubbing a little bit more, I would possibly put this one a little bit higher, I guess, in terms of versatility. But even then, actually, I take that back. I wouldn't even put it higher then, because I can only still imagine it for a club. It's really one of those ones that shouts out for you. It's a perfect clubbing scent, and that's about it. I wouldn't really wear it anywhere else. I mean, you can get away with it on a date fragrance, although personally I wouldn't do it. But it really is your quintessential quintessential clubbing fragrance and night out fragrance. So other than that, no real scenario that I can really see this one safely worn in. So for that, versatility gets a D+. For compliments, it gets a B+ with a star. The reason why I'm going to go ahead and put a star next to it is it gets compliments. This is a fragrance that does get compliments from people. However, it also garners revision, or some people who revile it just because of the way that it smells. Krystal's reaction that you saw in it is the type of reaction that I got from some other people, and that's probably something that somebody isn't just going to go out and tell you. They're not going to really getting a bad compliment for a fragrance is much more rare than getting a good compliment for a fragrance, because when you tell somebody that they smell bad, it could quite often result in a punch in the nose, a fight, or some unpleasant interaction with them. Most people aren't going to take it lying down. So once I got other people's opinions from this, there are a lot of people who do think that this is too overpowering, smells too sweet, too candy-like. So it's one thing to keep in mind for it. So B+, you are going to get compliments with it, but you're probably going to turn some people off at the same time with it. They're just not going to tell you about it. That's about it. As far as overall fragrance rating, I'm going to go ahead and give this one a B. It's a solid scent. If you're looking for a clubbing scent, possibly even a date scent, then I would look in this direction. The one turnoff it would be a couple turnoffs that would be, if you're not into sweet scents, look in another direction. If you're not into scents that, other people have smelled, or popular scents, anything like that, then look in this other direction, because this is a very popular scent. It is a good fragrance. I give it a solid B. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please let me know. Leave a note down there. Send me a message, whatever you got to do. I always answer. And take care of yourselves. Have a great day.